Welcome back to Bonanza Disc Golf. Today we are going to be talking about my master plan to get to the Disc Golf Pro Tour. It's going to be a little bit loosely structured because we're playing 9 holes at USF Riverfront Park. We are playing with my bag of discs that I have chosen for this off season, but mostly we're going to talk about kind of my philosophy and goal for getting to the Pro Tour as we play through these 9 holes. Also, today as you're watching this is my birthday, and over the next few days I have a really cool announcement of discs that are going to be going up for sale. Those will be coming out really soon. I have them in hand. I just need to figure out all the website and shipping stuff so I can do a little bit of international shipping. But let's get on to hole number 1 here, which is 310 feet. We're playing pretty hot. We're 4 down. Let's try to get to 9, but that doesn't really matter. Oh wow, so this basket is all the way down this corridor and finishes to the right. It's kind of pretty hidden. If you guys have been to my channel before, you might know that my main goal with this channel is to just entertain you guys, obviously. But my goal for me is to cash at a Pro Tour event. I started playing disc golf January 18th of last year, so just over a year now. And I wanna share that journey of going from being very new, I was probably 5 months into playing disc golf when I started my channel, to hopefully cashing at a Pro Tour event. And then after I attain that goal, ideally, I'll be able to reach for top 40s, top 30s, top 20s, and maybe even higher finishes. I count Silver Series, some people don't. Looking at you, Hunter. And I wanna explain why I think that that's a relatively feasible goal, especially right now, where even, it doesn't matter how I play on this back 9, because right now I'm not tournament ready, I'm not trying to be tournament ready, and me filming a YouTube video is very different than me playing in a tournament. I hope you realize that. We're gonna go with a forehand, kind of flip up to flat with my strike. But from everything that I've seen and heard pro players talk about at the Pro Tour, there are 2 things that you need, and it's not 600 feet of distance. Oh, those are thick. But real quick before I explain that, I don't think that what I'm trying to do as someone who's literally, as you're watching this video, turning 25, I don't think that it's necessarily feasible that this is something that will be easy to do in 10, 15 years. Maybe for the next 5. We're right now kind of in the last dying breaths, that would seem, of a time when you will be able to just kind of train by yourself at a little bit older of an age. And if you have just the base of skill and athleticism, or the dedication, or both. And the main thing is the third thing that we're gonna talk about, the money. We're kind of ending the era when you can get yourself there relatively easily, because there are some events that I can probably sign up for and go and play in the Pro Tour this year, which is what I'm gonna try to do. Birdie, let's go. Also, the biggest thing is not the distance. I would say it's the putting. You do need a minimum of distance, and that's a lot of what I'm working for this off season, which is why I'm not playing any tournaments for the next 3 months, where I try to get that 450 consistency, 475 more ideally, because that's what Drew Gibson says that you need. Albert Tam says 500, so I'm gonna try to work towards that, but if I can continue to work on being good at every other part of the game, I think you can compete for cash lines. Not necessarily the win, but this goal that I have is not like a short term, I wanna do this next month. My skills that you see now are not the skills that'll take me to cashing at a Pro Tour event necessarily. There's obviously still a long way out, but let's talk about the 2 main things that you need to get to the Pro Tour, at least in my estimation, based on everything that I've seen and heard, and why I think it's feasible for me to try to do so. The 2 main things that you need to do to get on the Pro Tour is be good enough at disc golf to play on the Pro Tour, which is probably around 1,000 rating, at least consistently, and then have the means to do it. And means are twofold. One is time, so you have the time freedom to be able to do it, and you can't just like locationally be wherever you need to. You can't work remote, you can't choose your own hours, you're not gonna be able to do it. The second part of the means is just the money, and this is a lot of what people who are on tour right now struggle with, or so it would seem. There's not a lot of money in disc golf right now, and so funding a tour, most people need sponsors. You need those 2 things in order to be able to play and tour on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Not just like play one event, but actually travel around, follow the tour, play on the tour, and potentially do well. You need the means and you need the skills, I guess. Get a lot of skip, a lot of spin. Probably needed the goat to get a little bit further, but that should play. Since you need those 2 things to tour on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, I'm kind of focused instead of first on getting phenomenal at disc golf. I proved to myself last season that I was able to, within 10 months, 11 months, get myself to a 954 rating. My last 5 or 6 tournaments that I played, I averaged 973 or 974, which PDGA says is pro level. Not touring pro, but local pro. Now, I had never done any sort of like distance work, or like not to throw distance, but to just increase my distance. I was just kind of on the course. I played a lot and I threw a lot. And getting to that point, I realized if I could do that with no significant training, just time playing on the course and practicing putting, I could probably get myself to that 1,000 rating because I shot a couple thousand rated rounds and they didn't seem like incredible rounds. They just felt like average to good rounds. I feel confident that I can get to 1,000 rated by the end of this year, which is one of my main goals. To get 1,000, honestly, probably 1010 or 1015 rated. 1015 is kind of what I'm shooting for. 1,000 is what I'd be happy if I get to, which is one of the other reasons I'm not playing tournaments for the next 3 months, because I don't want to, while I'm going through a form change, play a tournament that I shoot very poorly at, basically because of my form change, and then that tanks my rating, because ratings aren't super important after you get to that 1,000 rated point, but to get there is still a very important thing to be able to do, to play at that level. Oof. I also noticed, because I got into disc golf, even up as I was building up my rating and getting better, I started my channel in June of last year. I had another YouTube channel before this one that was about business and money, and I'm actually gonna be posting more on that, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But as I was just falling in love with disc golf and playing all the time, I noticed so many people talking about social media is a thing that pros need to be doing more. And the pros who do social media get bigger contracts. Contracts in disc golf aren't crazy. Like, I don't know actual numbers, but people seem to throw around $30,000 to $50,000 as a not crazy number for a disc golf contract, which is just not a lot of money to travel and live and plan for a future on. And so I saw that I had the background in social media and YouTube, that I knew the monetization structures on YouTube, and if I could build a YouTube channel up where there weren't as many YouTube channels as would fill the demand for YouTube content in disc golf, I would be able to potentially be able to self-fund a tour. Because for the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even, I don't think the money is going to shift from social media to playing good disc golf. The people who are at the top playing good disc golf made about $100,000 last year. To be able to do that on social media is so much easier. And so having that background and just a passion for it, that's what I decided to start focusing on. Was instead of really focusing on getting great at disc golf, was building a really big disc golf YouTube channel. And I'm still trying to do that and still trying to grow it as big as I can. But I've gotten to the point where now it's a full-time income from me. I also have my other YouTube channel and a bunch of like affiliate income, which is like links in the description, which you can go and peruse if you want. All of those come together to now be at the point where my wife and I should be able to get an apartment and then also travel to play disc golf for me. And that's kind of assuming a little bit of growth on the channel and some viewership, as well as some growth on my other YouTube channel, which I'm gonna start back up, which has a much higher ad rate. It's about 3 times the disc golf channel. So if I just start that back up and get it even close to the size of this channel, that will pay for more than everything. But being able to self-fund everything and not rely on sponsors helps me to be a little bit more unbiased. I don't have anyone that I have to report to, except for maybe like 1 video or 2 videos a month for people who sponsor content instead of sponsor me. That also gives me some leverage that hopefully by the end of this year, if I can get to 1,000, 1010, 1015 rated and have a very large audience, I can push that into a relatively sizable disc golf contract with a retailer or manufacturer. And that would be really nice for traveling on the road. So that's only the first part though, is the finances, the means. And I can travel myself right now because I work for myself. I don't have a job that I have to go to. And so I really appreciate you guys all for that. Thank you so much. Like, you guys are making this a reality, because social media, I think, is where the money's gonna be for the foreseeable future in disc golf, like 5 to 10 years. Maybe purses will be big enough, but I don't wanna have to wait for that. I'd rather make a solid living now, not rely on a relatively low contract to travel, but rely on you guys just viewing the videos. And if you want to support me in other ways, I have a bunch of ways to do that, but honestly, your viewership, your likes, your subscriptions are enough, because that's what helps grow the channel. Okay, I am gonna tee off, I promise. But this also is what a lot of people talk about needs to be done in disc golf, which is bringing in outside of disc golf money outside of disc golf into disc golf. Like, they normally talk about it in terms of big sponsorships for events, but that's exactly what you guys do when you watch my videos. Because if you guys are serviced an ad in my videos, and I know I play some ads in my videos, I always make sure that none of them are non-skippable, because those piss me off. But when you guys see those ads, most of the time that you see those ads, they're not a disc golf company advertising, and that is outside disc golf dollars coming into my pocket, which is coming into disc golf, because I basically use all this money to either live, pay for discs, or travel to play disc golf. So thank you guys for that. Let's tee off here, and then we'll talk about the second things, which is getting good enough at disc golf, and then what is the plan to get on the tour, stay on the tour, and play disc golf for a long time actually look like. I've been overthrowing this disc today though. Overthrew it again. Awesome. Definitely need to throw a putter, but I don't have overstable putters or approach discs that I like until the next couple days, which you guys can actually pick up, which I'm super excited for. Not zones though, because Discraft doesn't like custom runs for some reason. So on to the disc golf part. This is the main reason why I am not going to be playing events for the next 3 months. I'm giving myself about a 4 or 5 month off season. Ideally, my first event will be OTB Open. I don't think I'll be able to get into that because the Elite Series events are filling up fast. There are Tuesday qualifier events, and here are a couple things that need to happen before that. Basically, after I get my discs in, which I'm going to be selling over the next week or so, they should sell out pretty fast, so definitely get your hands on one and look out for those when they come out. Those are going to be a big part of my touring efforts. But after that happens, we're going to move to Denver. Chris and I, my wife, really like it up there. So we're going to move to Denver, finally get out of the van because we're really ready to be done with van life. Honestly, van life sucks for training and for working. Man, you are in this crap. And it's honestly been a big problem with like nutritionally, workout wise. You just have to essentially do 20 to 30 hours a week just focused on living, which is something you don't really think about a lot. If I want to shower, if I need to go to the bathroom, if we need to get water, they're all things that take way longer than if you live in a house or apartment. It's just a big pain in the butt. So we're really excited to be done with that and to get a home base, which will be really helpful for content for me because I'm not gonna be scrambling like every day editing and uploading because I'm worried 2 to 3 hours out of my day about just how to live, where to even sleep. Ooh, this is a fun hole. All right, straight ahead of us. I think I'm still gonna throw my strike, but make it spinny instead of fast. But after we move to Denver, probably mid-March, and then I'm really gonna make sure that my training, putting specifically, is dialed. I'm just gonna make sure I continue practicing putting and keeping it dialed and doing a lot of network and field work to really finalize my form. There are a couple main things that we're continuing to talk through. One of them being getting my elbow out and up and ahead of the rest of my body when I throw, kind of in here. I'm not really great at getting it up, and I tend to have it down and then have to bring it back up, which causes a swoop, which is not great. And then the other one being my off arm brace, which I think will fix a lot of problems. So we're gonna work on that next. Not the off arm for added distance, but the off arm for bracing. But right around the time that I move is when OTB Open registration for me, who's 950, which is in the 930 plus tier, will open. And essentially what's gonna happen is probably around May, whether that's just in Denver or around Denver or basically anywhere that I can go, I'm gonna start trying to play as many tournaments as I possibly can and touring to a lot of bigger A-tier events, hopefully that are close to the Pro Tour events. So I sign up for the A-tier, sign up for the qualifying for the Pro Tour event, and then try to make because I think most of the Elite Series have qualifying now, and if I go to that qualifying and get in through the qualifying process, then I'll be into those events. And I'll have a backup of an A tier that's like an hour away or something, or a B tier that's close by that I can still go and play and continue to play MPO, because I'm playing fully MPO this year. Of course, I knew that was gonna happen after I said that. Oh. But like I said, this year, my main goal is to play a lot of events. Those are my favorite pieces of content to produce, and I just like playing tournaments. So I want to play a lot, play every single Pro Tour event that I can, and as long as you guys keep watching the videos, supporting in whatever way you can, I should be able to self-fund all the travel to all these places. That's a little bit of what I'm worried about for this year, but with a modicum of growth and focusing on some other business stuff that's outside of Disc Golf YouTube on my other YouTube channel, as well as Bidanza Bogies, which you should go subscribe to, because next year, my wife and I are planning on having a baby and figuring all of that out. And so that's gonna take me off the map for a lot of next year. Still gonna try to play as many events as I can during that time. Still work a little bit on that off season on more forehand and backhand, make sure I get to about 400, 425 forehand, 475, 500 backhand. And then 2025, I'm gonna try to get on the tour, like with a tour card. Also this year, I'm gonna try to get a tour card for 2024, because that way, if I do have a kid, I won't have to like scramble for finding events. And the main ways I'm gonna do that are trying to get into events and cashing, obviously, and playing the qualifying tour, which they haven't announced a lot about, except for that it's gonna be at the end of the season. So I look forward to trying that out. Don't know how I'm gonna do, but obviously a lot more work to be done. Oh, I gotta love it. And because my goal of cashing in a Pro Tour event is a goal, and it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, maybe it'll happen this year, and that'd be awesome, and that's what I'm trying to make happen. But if it doesn't happen this year, it's not an unexpected thing. Like, I only started playing disc golf a year ago, so if I can't cash at a Pro Tour event, that's understandable. But I think with the right work ethic, I should be able to at least cash an event and hopefully be on the tour as a player that is someone that people can watch out for by 2025, 2026. Never hurts to have big goals, because if you miss them, you can still get really close. It's not luck, baby. Seriously, I think that practicing putting is the main thing. Like, distance is important, but no matter where I get to, by about April of this year, in terms of form, I'm really gonna focus on not tweaking anything else and just focusing on hitting lines with that form, practicing putting, and then just building a good habit base for going on tour. Nutrition, lifting, keeping my body safe, because if all of that can happen and I can prevent some injuries, that gives me a really good chance, I think. I don't think it's a preposterous goal. I understand if some people can't believe, but some people don't like to dream big. And if you don't wanna follow along this journey, or if you wanna hate watch, that's fine. Your ad dollars still go into my pocket, so I appreciate that. You are supporting the journey, even with your hate comments. Very generous of you. Okay, 240 feet straight ahead. I think I'm gonna throw my 2E. That will play. Oh, more than enough. Oh, I tried something else with my form that I'm working on and it did not work. Maybe you shouldn't do that when you're on a wooded hole. This hole reminds me kind of a little bit of Minnesota. Pathfinder. That'd be great for the other position. I think that hex might be the only thing from this bag, except for my pures that I putt with, that'll stay. That building my bag series is gonna come out probably as I finalize my form, so sometime April, mid-April, before I play my first tournament. And I might play my first tournament if I can't get into OTB somewhere in the Denver area, especially because that's where I will have been throwing and know how my discs fly. Oh yeah, I parked the other basket. Oh my gosh, should have thrown the Pathfinder, huh? Hey Eric Oakley, we finally got a good shot with your disc. Oh, good height. I do kind of wonder how it'd shoot if I played a tournament now. Definitely not gonna do it though, because end of year rating is way too important, and I have so many. Once it gets to September, my rating's gonna be so good, because it'll just have my new ratings plus like a bunch of 970 stuff. And all of like I had like an 860, 8, I got like 4 900s, some 910s. Most of those will be gone. I think we're just gonna go P1 and just throw in a little bit of highs here through that right gap. Oh, that was gonna be so perfect. That was gonna go in the basket. Every time, just assume that if something kicks in one of my videos, it was going to be an ace. And then it just like kicked off that line. Just assume that that's what happened. Thank you, I appreciate that. I think I'm realizing by me not taking this key out that I don't actually want to bag it. Yeah, up around all these trees, back to the right. And I think if I throw the Kotuku on some Anheuser, it's too glidey. The Ursus is not. Perfect. So good. All right, maybe we can go 8. One last hole. Last hole, 366. Right to where those guys are throwing. There's a practice basket up there, which looks kind of cool to throw through, but this kind of looks like it has to be a forehand or a really low backhand on some turn. But I think a flexing forehand or a hyzer flip up forehand is probably the play. It's 370 though, 366. It's really the only distance drive that we've had to throw today. We could also throw the wild honey all the way around there. Yeah, if you want to follow the journey, subscribe if you want. If you don't, that's cool. Peace. Hopefully you see me on covers one day, maybe, eventually. Like the video and stuff. Look out for those discs coming out super soon. These are all my thoughts about how to get on the Pro Tour right now, 2023. I don't know if this will be applicable 2025. It's kind of the best way to go about it from like a very frugal-minded, business-minded person's perspective, is I would rather mitigate some of my risks financially so that if I do flop on the tour, it's not devastating to both my disc golf game and my finances, just my disc golf game. And no matter what, still part of this journey, so it's still not that much of a flop, which is why I kind of structured things the way that I did. If you were interested in that, hopefully you have your answers. Flex out of it. Thing is flippy. Okay, I'm gonna try the forehand actually. Maybe I should have actually thrown the forehand. Yeah, I should have. I never trust my forehand, and it's like not bad at all. It's got all the distance and just a little bit right. Are you kidding me, dude? Enigma's not that bad actually, that forehand. Just outside. Gosh, man, practice putting. I love making big putts. Making putts is the most fun part of disc golf. Throwing far, I've thrown 440 feet before. I've thrown 470 feet in a distance competition. Who gives a crap? Make a 60-foot putt. Man, putting is so much better than throwing far. Oh, dang. Oh, come on. Oh, it's the rule of threes, baby. Well, if you do that, it's cooler. Okay, those videos are on the screen now. Subscribe, like the video. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys. You guys are making the dream of me wanting to be a professional athlete at 25, potentially a reality. Who knows if it'll actually happen? I'll definitely play MPO, and hopefully I'll win some tournaments this year. That'd be electric, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I just love you and appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, love you.